Tales from the Jails with John G. Sutton. Thank you very much for watching this channel. Do please like and subscribe. It's down there. There's a link to my new book, which is what we're going to talk about today. HMP, Manchester Prison Officer, Part 3. There we have it. By John G. Sutton. That's me, by the way. Today I'm dedicating this little broadcast to a very fine fellow indeed. A real gentleman from a place called Poulton-le-Fylde. So if you're from Poulton-le-Fylde and your name's Robert Isles, then this little broadcast today is dedicated to you. And I hope you're going to join me on Tuesday, the 2nd of April at 7 p.m. here, because we're going to have a live broadcast interacting. You can send me questions and I'll do my best to answer. In the meantime, my new book, HMP Manchester Prison Officer Part 3, is published by Gadfly Press and it's available on Amazon. I'll talk a little bit about the contents of this. It's got a very interesting quotation from me on the page before, immediately before page 1, as you can see it there. It says, "Unless you like the taste, don't spend your life kissing backsides," which is just about sums up my attitude to authority, which isn't very good, by the way, as you probably gathered if you've been reading my books and watching this broadcast of mine. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about what's in the book. It obviously starts, I'll get a bit of light on this here, then I can see what I'm talking about here. Here we are, yeah. It starts off, of course, with discussions about the work that I did starting off as a hospital officer. The first chapter is called A Seriously Disgusting Job, and that involves somebody who had been indulging in same-sex relationships and had developed a growth on their rectum, a horrible growth on their rectum. Details in the book. Chapter 2, The Liquid Cosh, that deals with me handling a very dangerous large inmate, an infamous large inmate, former heavyweight boxer Paul Sykes, when he was in Strange Ways, and he had to be forcibly injected, and that task fell to me. I didn't do it a volunteer for that. I was ordered to do that by the doctor. So all the people who are saying, "Oh, well, you just drew up the drugs and fired them into the inmates," well, no, always had to be at the instructions of a certified medical practitioner. Chapter 3 is the male rape victim. That deals with a prisoner who came down to the clinic that I was working in on A1 Landing and reported that he'd been anally raped by his cellmate, and how I dealt with that, which was, believe me, it was an unpleasant, difficult task. The next chapter is the human robot. I don't know if you've ever seen a human robot. Yeah, but they walk like as if they're made out of clockwork. You know, the arms jigger-jagger about, and they don't walk normally. They walk as if they're marching like an automaton. And how he behaved at Strange Ways. And also that chapter deals with the man that I called the Strange Ways werewolf, who was howling and barking and generally playing the fool. But you'll read about that, no doubt. Chapter 5 was is Prestwich Psychiatric Hospital, where I was seconded for 2 weeks to study the system of group therapy and what I encountered in the psychiatric hospital that was originally termed Prestwich Lunatic Asylum. Seriously, that's what they called it. It was opened in 1851. You'll read about that in this book. The next chapter is The Handless Corpse. That's the man who cut the hands off his victims and dumped them into a flooded quarry. Yeah, His name was Terry Sinclair. You'll read about that, how I dealt with Terry Sinclair, and what subsequently happened to Terry Sinclair is in the book. The following volume is Death in a Prison Cell. Well, this is a very sad story of a poor chap who choked on his own food at lunchtime, seriously, and I was the first officer there to attend to him. I couldn't resuscitate the man, he was gone, and the story that went round the prison was that I'd killed him, you know. As if I'm going to do that. Yeah, how crazy is that? It was just nonsense, really. But that's it. That's jails, you see. They are fantasy stories about there. The next chapter 9 is The Catatonic Patient. This is the account of a man who'd murdered his wife, and following the murder of his wife, he'd gone into shock, and he was in a catatonic stupor. He was like in a form of coma, but he was awake, but he couldn't function, couldn't move, couldn't drink. Terrible state. I resolved that. How I did that is in this book, HMP, Manchester Prison Officer, Part 3. Many other chapters in the book, of course. There's 20 chapters, yeah. And the final chapter is The Psychiatrist. The Psychiatrist chapter tells the story of how the Home Office required that I attend for assessment by a psychiatrist because the Home Office were alleging that I was possibly barking mad. You can decide for yourself whether I'm barking mad or not. The best way to do it is read my book. Watch these little chapters here on Tales from the Jails, and join me on Tuesday, the 2nd of April, because we're going to have a live broadcast. It's that time of day, folks. And don't forget, my book's available on Amazon, by the way. It's doing quite well, actually. It's starting to sell. Well, it's only been out a couple of days. So, yeah, I've been telling you, I've been buying records, 78 records, from collecting them, of Elvis Presley. I'll sing you one that I particularly like. Well, I'm going to sing you a little bit, just a sample here. It's The Other Side of Jailhouse Rock. Yeah, I could sing you Jailhouse Rock, couldn't I? Go on then. I'll do the other one another day. Yeah, this is Jailhouse Rock, from the film Jailhouse Rock, featuring Elvis Presley. This is his hit single from that film. The warden threw a party in the county jail. The prison band was there, they began to wail. The band was jumping and the jump began to swing. You should have seen the knocked out jailbirds swing. Let's rock, everybody, let's rock. Everybody in the whole cell block, they're dancing to the jailhouse rock. Sad sack was sitting on a block of stone, over in the corner weeping all alone. I said, everybody, don't you be a square. If you can't find a partner, use a wooden chair. Let's rock, everybody, let's rock. Everybody in the whole cell block, we're dancing to the strange ways rock. That's it, folks, for today. Tales from the Jails with John G. Sutton. Do like and subscribe, and don't forget to get my book, folks. Tuesday the 2nd at 7 p.m.